But it's not me, it's you. What you're turning into is some kind of something that I never knew. You used to be okay, and I like you that way. But I don't think that I like you better. No, I don't think that I like you better.
Hey YouTubers, John Festmeyer here, working on my 3D modeling thesis, Bodacious Creed, for Academy of Art University. I'm getting my MFA in 3D modeling, and you can watch past videos or check out my blog for more information on all this. So you're on the Bodacious Creed channel. Bodacious Creed is the name of my thesis, and here I am working on the main character. I thought I'd do something a little different today. You may notice that my layout here is different than you have seen in the past. I got a new Cintiq, which is a type of tablet. It's fantastic. It's a monitor and a tablet together. They're pretty pricey. I got the smaller model, which is still pretty good size. The desktop, the drawing area is 1280 by 800. So the larger one costs about twice as much. Worth the money, but out of my price range. This was barely in my price range, but I knew it would be a great help for my work. It would really allow me to bring things to a new level. It's a wonderful tool, so that's what I'm using here. So first I'm going to show, as you can see, I'm still getting used to it here. But it's pretty amazing because I can basically sculpt right onto my figure, and that's exactly what it feels like. It's really cool. So what I have done with Creed this week, oh come on, zoom in. As I said, still getting used to this. Is first thing I did is I made his face look a little more like the actual guy he's based on. Actually, that's why you can see some of the subtools, some of that jaw coming in here and stuff at a point where you're not supposed to. I'll need to adjust that. I'll need to adjust some other things because I made his cheeks more gaunt, his face more gaunt, and his body quite a bit more gaunt too. I looked at pictures of people who, you know, who are basically anorexic or emaciated or have been starving, and it's all sad stuff, but you know, it was appropriate reference for a guy who's also been dead for several weeks before he's brought back to life, so his body will have thinned out and look more gaunt. I didn't make him super gaunt, but I think I did it to about the right level. So, and let's see. So I'm going to go solo here. So actually, real quick, a lot of the controls I had up here are gone. What I have basically the main ones I need to access here. These are some that were down here. There was a strip here before. So I've got my solo and transparency and all that. I have the main brushes I tend to use here, and then of course this palette area is on the right and was on the right before, but basically it allowed me to get the most room I could here for my tablet, and I can always increase the drawing area and then do this to bring it down so that, you know, if I'm doing texturing, I want to have a very big drawing area. It'll look smaller on the screen when I do the zoom, but it will actually allow for bigger textures, so that's pretty important. Okay, so onto the solo. So that's how gaunt I have made him. Basically really concentrated on keeping the bones in the same places, you know, so I mean, you know, those weren't changing, and just kind of bringing in the muscle and obviously skin and whatnot, you know, the tissues a little bit. That's why, and I'm not totally sure this is correct, but I'll get some feedback on it. Whoa, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay, still getting used to the tablet, as I said. That's why I have his shoulders so wide, because, and I maybe should bring that in a little bit, like to bring the muscle in, but I'm going to keep it like that for now, until I get some comments. But, you know, I kept the bones where they would be. So, for instance, on the legs, I brought in the muscle, the gastrocnemius in the back there, a little bit this way, but kept the tibia the same. Same with the arms and the chest. And in fact, on the chest, I sculpted in not a whole lot of the ribs. If you look at people who are emaciated, you can, depending on how bad it is, you can see a lot of the ribs. But I thought, you'd be able to see some of his lower ribs. So I have these here, the last one that's actually connected right onto the sternum, and then some of the floating ribs you can barely see here. But I figure he still has, muscle tone for the most part, in his chest. Still got strong arms here, but I brought them in a little bit to thin them out. So that's how his body's looking. Now, there's one thing I wanted to do today that I thought would be interesting and maybe fun for people. ZBrush has this awesome movie ability, and I've seen, put on some turntables. That's one way that I'll do the turntables. So I'll go up into the movie area here, and I can record a turntable or other things. What I'm going to do here is hit record in a minute. I'm going to do a separate little video that I'm going to put all this together in After Effects later, and I'm going to do some forming on his clothes. I'm going to go ahead and take his clothes and make them fit better to his new frame, and I'll go ahead and put that up on in this video as well. What it'll do is it'll do a time lapse. It'll look pretty cool. I haven't done one of those in a while, but you can actually see me working mistakes and undos and all. Here's one more thing to show before I go on to that. I had a spiraling coil here on his neck, and I hope these stay okay. I hope it looks pretty good there. I'll need to smooth them. But what I decided to do instead, the coil got some really weird problems. I don't know what happened to all the polygons in it, but it somehow broke. So it was no longer a coil, but sort of just kind of a sharp edged mesh thing with a big bar in the middle of it. It was bizarre. So what I did is I created this set. It looks like it's supposed to be a set of wires. I'll probably make them look copper or something. I don't know in the final. But I did those with a program called, well, actually in Maya with a plugin called Shave and a Haircut. Which is what I use for hair, and I was able to create these thick wires. So that's about 15 very thick hairs that I did to create wires. You can use shave for grass and all sorts of wonderful effects. So okay, on to the shaping of the clothes.
Where did we go? When was the moment that we broke into? I think I know. In fact, I am sure I can blame it on you. I remember the first big surprise, the day you came home with your infrared eyes. I looked inside them, but all I could see were tiny reflections of me. But it's not me, it's you, what you're turning into. You're some kind of something that I never knew. You used to be okay, and I liked you that way. But I don't think that I like you better. No, I don't think that I like you better. Started out small, some gills and some wings and a few extra thumbs. Now you're 13 feet tall. Even when you're asleep, your machinery hums. And I'm tired of the evenings I spend making small talk with your new robot friends, and their stupid insistence on scanning my iris They know damn well who I am. And you look like a victim of a surgical crime, a little Darth Vader, a little Optimus Prime. You used to be okay, and I liked you that way, but I don't think that I like you better. No, I don't think that I like you better. That's how it goes. Snap your mandibles once to say you understand. Now hold me close. Wait, now that's too close. You're crushing my hand. I can tell by that shrieking alarm that your weapon systems are active and armed. Do me a favor and power them down, just so we don't have a scene. And I wish it was different, but we're just not the same.